The thing I think that's hardest about developing software is that you're never doing it in a vacuum. There's so many different things to consider. I think it's almost easier to do development within an existing system. I think it is easier, I would argue. Constraints are already defined. The users are already defined. Even user groups are defined. The modules of the app are defined. The data model is defined. There's so many things that are predefined for you when you walk in. You can use those reference points to determine the best solution. But when you're building software from scratch, or even when you're developing a product from scratch, you have to start creating those reference points. So you have to create a data model, knowing that that data model is going to be wrong and it's going to change. You have to create back-end logic. You have to create designs. You have to talk to users, and they're going to have opinions. And it's not that their opinions are right or wrong. It's just that your solution needs to evolve to account for those user opinions, and you need to start developing priorities. So it's hard to do all of these things in tandem because you've got so many competing priorities. On one hand, you need to prioritize creating a stable system that works properly so that you can show it to your users, they can use it, and they can give you feedback. On the other hand, you need to define who those users are, find out where they are, and somehow get them to talk to you. And then on the other hand, you need to some degree, consider scale. It's a good problem to have, but if you all of a sudden are inundated with users, you now got to scale your app so it works across them all. The trickiest part, I think, is the early users are really important because that's your base. So you don't want to piss them off. You need to make something that works for them, but it needs to be like really a really base model. So it's a lot of threading the needle with getting people to use your product, to fall in love with it, knowing that it's the base model and it's going to expand and improve over time and solve more of their problems. I think the goal is to get to a point where you're deepening the solution instead of broadening it. I think in a lot of cases, you start building and the instinct is to broaden the solution to cover more users, to get more feedback. But I think the better approach is to hone in on a few problems, hone in on a small portion of the overall workflow, and understand how to improve that. Now, of course, that has to be balanced with your runway. You've got a limited amount of resources to build this thing. Even if you have funding, you've got a limited amount of resources. So it's just tricky, it's real tricky.